Hi, welcome to this SQL tutorial video, and today we're going to look at the pivot keyword. Now what pivot does is it transforms rows of data into columns of data. So as an example, I've got this list of products and itemized orders for each product. I've got a year of a particular order date, and I've got the value of a particular order for this product. What I want to see is I want to see a single line for a product. I would like to see a year, and I would like to see the sum total for that year. But I would like it to say product number, and then as a header, a year, 2012, and then 2013, then 2014, and the sum total of the sales for each year for that product. So we would effectively have a product here and then the years as individual column headers. Now, the pivot's got to be written in a very particular way, and I'm going to try and explain how you write a pivot in this tutorial. So let's start with this SQL here. What we need to do to begin with is we need to wrap this SQL around and make it a nested query. So if I select star from, and I put a bracket, and I want to get rid of my order by here, and I put another bracket here, this now becomes a nested query. It's a query within these two brackets. I need to give it a name, so I'm going to call it sales data. And now I can run this, and it will run. It runs a query, but there's no difference. If I run this, I get that data. If I run the whole thing, I get the same data. All we've done is we have built a little select star around our original query. So I'm going to tab that in just to make it a bit clearer. When you've got that written and it's working, we now type below that pivot. And then pivot is something that's has brackets surrounding the data within it. So we write pivot, we have a couple of brackets, and then within the brackets, we've got to write two pieces of data. First of all, what data we want to summarize? What's the data we want to kind of, the value data that we want to sum? And in this case, it's our sales column. So I'm going to type in, I want to just tab that, and I'm going to type sum, and then sales, because that's the name of our column. Then we type for, that's the next expected keyword, and then we need to give it the column that's going to be our column headers. So in this case, it's going to be the year column. So I'm going to type year, because that's the name of our column. Don't worry that it's gone pink. Year is also a keyword, but the reason for this year is because it's the name of our column. And then we need to say in, and then in double quotes, we're going to put the column headers that we want. Okay, they've got to exist in this column here as a piece of data. So I'm going to do 2011, and I know that we've got 2012, 2013, and 2014. And we need to give this a name as well. And I'm going to call this pivoted. Now, we've got an error here, and I think it's because it expects quotes around these headers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to surround them by square brackets here. And that should allow that to work. It now sees this as not a number as such, rather than a column header. And I can run that now, and that should give me a pivot. So what we've got here, there's our product ID, and there's our 4 years that we want data returned. Now what we've got here is what I want to do actually at the top of here is I want to return the each column by name, because what we can do is, we've got some nulls there, and we can deal with those nulls. So nothing's changed. I've just actually put the column names there. But what we can do is we can say, okay, is null, and we can say make it 0 if it's null, and we can give it an alias. So if we run that, we now don't get nulls anymore, and we can treat those nulls because we put the column name in here. Also, if you didn't want all of these columns, maybe you don't want the first column, you don't need 2011. So if you get rid of that from here and get rid of it from here, then it won't show 2011. So now we've just got the 3 year columns. And then if you wanted to add more information, so maybe you want the name of the product, you do that in the nested select here. So we'll do name, and then up here we will add name because we've named it there, and if we run that, we get the name of the product as well. That is all I was going to show you in this tutorial. I hope it makes sense. If you've got any questions, please leave me a comment and I'll send you a reply. Thanks a lot for your time. See you next time.